My name's Alex, and I recently presented at the Cottesmore conference where we were looking at AI and SEN. A quick introduction to Interactive Tutor. We're an AI solution built from the ground up for schools. We're a little bit different in that we are integrated with your existing data set. So you can just plug and play and use our AI to read policies, books, spreadsheets, and even websites as part of your domain. So much better for data security, but with all of the usability of a large AI language models that you're probably all familiar with. So today, what we're going to be looking at is how we can then utilize tools like Interactive Tutor for special educational needs. And the three areas I'm going to touch upon are simplifying admin, supporting diversity, and looking into the future. So we'll start off by looking at admin.
My name's Emma Field and I am the SENDCO at Cottesmore and I'm also Head of Learning Support. EdPsych reports are really important because they give us a lot more information about pupils with learning and cognition needs, and they provide us with often 20-25 pages of information about a child with lots of recommendations, and it's my job to read these reports, understand them, talk to the family about them and share all of that information with teachers so that we can start to support children effectively in the classroom. In most schools, you're looking at about 20% of pupils having some kind of SEND, and usually these reports can take me hours to go through, hours and hours, and I know that in order to serve the child well, I need to do this properly. I can spend time in the holidays, spending hours reading EdPsych reports, working out what the recommendations are and working out how that will happen in our setting. What I would do with the time, if I wasn't going through these reports for hours and hours, is I would actually spend more time in the classroom, more time getting to know those very children that I'm trying to help.
Okay, so let's see how we can use AI to alleviate the admin burden of EdPsych reports. So I've just taken a photograph of 9 pages of an EdPsych report, as Emma shared. They're usually between 20 and 30 pages, but 9 pages will be enough for us to give a demonstration. This is a real report. We've redacted, obviously, the pupils' names, but we've kept all the other elements in there, so it should be something that you're familiar with. So we've taken a photograph of these reports, and straight away the AI has been able to follow our instruction and summarize them. It's looking for throughout the report for things like highlighting sort of areas that might need sort of further assessment or providing guidance and suggestions on how to deal with certain challenges. And that's obviously really helpful. That's going to save Emma and our SENCO some time. But what we really want to do now is turn it into something that's actionable. And so I'm going to take the report and I'm going to ask AI to turn it into a bullet point list that we can just share with some teachers. And there we got it. We've taken this massive report and we've simplified it into a bullet point list using our existing policies, guidance to help the AI in doing this. So now let's look at how we can support diversity.
Many schools follow the code of practice, which means that they have to show a continuous process of assess, plan, do, review, using lots of reports from outside professionals usually. Inspectors also ask to see this, and they expect to see teachers putting all of these recommendations into practice. This is a lot of admin for a busy SENCO and a busy school.
Okay, so again, another admin challenge for SENCOs. There's a legal requirement for them to demonstrate that their guidance is being utilized within the classroom. So what I'm going to do is very quickly build an AI and train it up. So I've copied a website with some guidance or the URL for that website guidance, and I'm going to use this as a reference for my AI in the responses that it generates. Now I'm going to upload a data file. So I'm going to be looking at year 5. And what you can see there is all of the standard categorizations of various special educational needs. So that's my file. I'm now going to ask the AI to use this file, referencing the guidance that I've used from the internet link to help me come up with some suggestions on how I can support the pupils in year 5. So it's now looking at that data set, it's identifying pupils in year 5 and all of the associated special educational needs. It's then using the reference training data to come up with suggestions on how to help them. And so if we see here, we can see Faramir has a hearing impairment. It talks about how Faramir could be helped, as well as all the other pupils who have been identified with special educational needs in year 5. So, for example, Yavanna is on the autism spectrum, and so there's some guidance there for Yavanna. So it's all hyper personalized and, of course, hyper accurate. So again, same as last time, what we're going to do is we're going to take the summarization and suggestions and go to ask the AI to do something totally different with it. So in this case, I'm going to ask it to come up with some suggestions on where I should sit these pupils within the classroom. Let's do that now. Faramir, who has a hearing impairment, the AI suggests that we should sit at the front where they might be able to see visual aids and lip read necessary. Yavanna, who we identified as being on the autism spectrum, the AI suggests considering seating her where she has some control over her sensor environment, so i.e. away from windows if she's sensitive to light. So again, we've got another summarization based on the data that we've used and the references that we've linked it to. And now I want to make it super easy for every single teacher of this particular year group, as Emma highlighted, where they are regulatorily required to have this information, be able to act upon it in a super simple way. So here's my bullet point list or bullet point recommendations for each of these pupils based on the training data or the data that we uploaded to it and the training data that we're using for reference. So here we've got Faramir. Users with visual aids, consider arranging for sign language interpreting assistive technology and seat Faramir at the front of the class for better visual access. Yavanna is use clear instructions, visual schedules, movement breaks, incorporate her interest into lessons, and seat at the front of class for better visual and auditory access. Sorry, that was for Gwendol.
Interactive tutor is already saving me time. It can take into account a lot of different reports. So take something like an educational psychology report, it can produce recommendations instantly, and I know that the data is safe and secure. I know that we're fully compliant and I can review the information. And what I can do with that time is I can spend it in the classroom building relationships with the children.
That's lovely. So saving on admin time allows teachers to do more of what they enjoy. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found that interesting. If you want to find out more about how you can use AI in your school, please do drop me a message.